was not as gracious as Danny Sullivan's, but Jason Galvin was not complaining after spinning on lap 81. Galvin rebounded back to the lead by lap 106 and never looked back, winning the Texas 200 at Texas Motor Speedway. It's the third career trip to victory lane for the Bakersfield native in the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment. Galvin's race looked like it was over when he made contact with Dan Guerin in a battle for 6th on lap 81. Galvin pushed in the dirty air behind Bob Mikes, and Guerin pounced to the outside. Galvin said he rolled out of the throttle, but he was sucked up into Guerin's bumper pod exiting turn 2. Miraculously, Galvin got the car turned away from the wall and slid to a stop, bringing out a caution and setting up a dramatic strategy call. On the ensuing restart, Jonathan Goke miscalculated a move inside of Joe Hassard, who had dominated the race to that point. Contact entering turn 3 sent Hassard spinning into the wall. On the ensuing caution, Galvin and Perhula ducked into the pits to top off on fuel. There were still 43 laps remaining, with the fuel window between 36 and 38 laps. Needing a few caution, the duo caught a break right away as George Anzaldo and Jonathan Goke made contact on lap 94, causing a massive pileup that took out Michael Goodman and damaged several others. On lap 103, Dave Barber clipped Ryan Otis on the front straight, bringing out another caution. Michael Gray, who had not pit since lap 81, ducked in for fuel, handing the lead to Galvin. Perhula spent the next 27 laps trying to get around Galvin and win at his home track, but a pair of late race cautions ended any chance he had. Mike is settled for third when the caution came out with 2 laps remaining, preventing the Kentucky winner from making a move on second place. Jason Robarge and points leader Andrew Kinsella rounded out the top 5. Pole sitter and defending race winner Jake Wright finished 6th, with Scott Bolster, Dan Guerin, Pierre Daigle, and George Anzaldo completing the top 10. Engineered to win, built to last. Nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system in the world of sim racing. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information on HPP and the product they offer, visit hppsimulation.com. And for more on the Lionheart IndyCar Series, go to lionheartracingseries.com.
The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and he missed the complete. He's crazy.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
For these drivers, it isn't about the largest purse in Lionheart history, it's about keeping the memory of Dan Weldon alive. Any one of the 42 drivers can win, but to do so, they will need speed and determination. Rookies must battle hardened veterans, and all must conquer an assortment of roads and ovals.
On the inside, can he make it stick? He loses momentum. No, he cannot make it stick. Race pulls ahead. There's nothing they touch. The winner is going to be Big Joe. No, it's Stover. I called it wrong. He's going to try to close the door out of pit exit, and I think he has to move.
With the history of double-digit winners per season, the challenge will be harder than ever. Which one will ultimately be crowned Lionheart champion? You're watching the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment, the premier American open wheel championship on iRacing, exclusively on GSRC.
After a pair of intense battles on the ovals at Pocono and Texas, the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment shifts gears by traveling north to Canada for a road course event. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park makes its series debut by hosting the IndyCar Grand Prix of Canada presented by iRacer.ca. It's round 9 of 24 on the Season 5 calendar, and all the Dallara DW12 action from Pate's Lap to Victory Donuts can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Good day, and welcome to Von Hansen's Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, you'll be furnished with all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the IndyCar Grand Prix of Canada presented by iRacer.ca that will immediately follow. I'm Bill Soupson, attesting that the proverb absence makes the heart grow fonder is indeed true, because I'm happy to have back at my side for today's broadcast Sean Crackers Ambrose, always here as usual, and therefore growing no fonder at all is our director Amjad Yaman, and Dougie Beard is our camera guru. The Lionheart series, of course, has been around for 5 seasons and is considered the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara DW12s on the iRacing service, but this is the first season for the drivers at Mosport. The Canadian fans hope they return the same way I hoped my partner would return to the booth, and of course I'm talking about Sean Crackers Ambrose.
Soup, great to be back. My time at the monastery was spent well. I'm happy to be back on the air with everybody this evening, and but I want to remind everybody that everything on the Countdown to Green show is brought to you thanks to Von Hansen's Meats Market. Since 1983, Von Hansen's has delivered personalized full service in a friendly, old-fashioned meat market environment. They offer a large and ever-expanding selection of meat products and menu ideas ranging from casual gatherings to special occasions. For more information, please visit www.vonhansens.com. That takes us into where we're at tonight here, Soup. Welcome to Mosport, however you want to say it. It's in Canada, and you know what? For a little information about this track today, you won't need to go anywhere because I've got that for you right now. One of the things you see here on this map, I want to point out as we look at it here, is that it's a 2.5-mile layout that you see on the screen. It's pretty much how this place looked when it opened in 1961. It's a rarity nowadays that racetracks aren't altered in some form or fashion to adapt to the demands of modern safety, but these drivers can truly picture themselves racing like they did in that very first Canadian Grand Prix. That said, the majority of these 10 corners are fast sweepers with lots of elevation changes. That means passing opportunities will be at a premium. Moss Corner looks to be the best one on paper, but it really is risky to attempt it into that section there. Expect most of the passes to happen into the S's now. A real worry for most of these drivers is going to probably be turn 2. We call it Clayton. And in real life, the runoff is now actually paved, but not here on the iRacing service. It's still that grass, and that runoff is very, well, let's just say it's a very long runoff, and you can't get the car slowed down, so you still got that grass on the outside to worry about. I can almost guarantee you, though, Soup, here, that a few races will end at this blind, scary corner.
Absolutely. We see us right on board there with Robert Bluen right now. And now, before we look at the point standings, keep in mind that these are the raw totals. However, the GSRC stat boys Simon and Poindexter have once again calculated the points, taking into account the 3 drop races that the rules allow for, and we will show you those as well. So let's go ahead by looking at the raw totals now. You'll find that Andrew Kinsella of Adrenaline Motorsports and Dan Guerin of Team #NailedIt hold station in first and second. Now take note of the gap between them. It's 49 points. We'll get back to that in a minute. The Texas third place finish had Controlled Chaos Racing's Robert Micas moving up 3 spots now into third. Perfect Attendance has Michael Gray in fourth, but when drop races are taken into account, the #NailedIt driver is farther down the list. Streamline Motorsports' Ryan Otis rounds out the top 5. The win at Texas makes AGR Motorsports' Jason Galvin the big mover, up 5 spots to rejoin his top 16 overlay buddies, 3 spots above the Mendoza line. In contrast, Galvin's AGR teammate Michael Goodman's 27th place result last time has him dropping 5 spots down into 8th. So, as promised, let's bring up the drop race standings seen now for the first time anywhere here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Now, remember, the 49-point gap between Kinsella and Guerin, well, when drop races are accounted for, that interval shrinks down to 4 points, but Kinsella is still on top. Gray gets sorted from 10th down up to 3rd, which is he gets sorted to 10th from 3rd. Remember, we talked about that. #NailedIt Jonathan Goke was in 11th, but on the chart sits tied for 4th with Otis. However, The real thing was a bit too eloquent on his chat for the last race for the series officials, and Jonathan will be forced to serve a 1-race penalty. He's on probation. He's going to sit this one out today. Moving to the team standings at Texas, Jason Galvin, Jason Robarge, and George Alzando won. And Zaldo got that out of there. Won the day with 140 points, 5 points better than No Names Racing's James Grahula, Jake Wright, and Pierre Degla. Coming into Texas as the leaders, Andrew Kinsella, Tony Schowen, and Chris Stouffer could only muster 105 points for Adrenaline Motorsports' fourth best for the day. So, No Name and Adrenaline swap first and second. Hashtag Nelda sits in third. But with Goke's suspension and Ian Adams' midseason retirement, the team now only has 2 bullets in the chamber for Mosport. Sean, how about some of the other battles, like maybe the rookie battle?
Yeah, let's look at the rookie standings right now because we've got quite a fight going on. Kinsella, yeah, that guy, 420 points right now. Now, Ryan Otis creeping back there with 94 points, just 94 points back. This is going to be a great fight tonight because both of them are going to be contenders in this race. You see Mike Goodman back there, 101 points back from our leader, but just 7 points back there from Ryan Otis. A great battle going on there for second, third. Bolster there in fourth, Collins fifth, Travis Jagerliner sixth, Paulson in seventh. Go all the way back to Peters in 10th. Dustin Wardlow there. In a good battle there to move up. He's well within reach of the top 5. Newcomer, really hot on the scene, and I love that rookie battle we've got going here. And Soup, we haven't even really hit the official halfway point of this season, so there's a lot of time to make some hay and put yourself there in the top 3 position. Let's look at the manufacturer standings, see where everybody's at here real quick. We've got Chevrolet at the top, but look who is coming up. Toyota, just 19 points back. Now, long journey back to third place, but Mazda's got it locked down right now. The Blue Oval continuing to kind of just tumble through the standings, Soup. They, not a lot of success this season, not quite the run they had last year. Sit there in fourth. Honda, very close. They look to overtake Ford here soon. Sitting there in fifth. Mercedes, with a lot more work to do. Then you've got Tesla sitting back there. Let's face it, sitting there in seventh, it doesn't look like there's much to look up to. Maybe a win would be the way they get that done here this season. Let's now look at the money standings.
And these came in late, so we just got these. So I'm looking forward to seeing these too.
Yeah, we did. And Kinsella, real close to breaking that 1 million mark there, up there in first with $951,500. It's a long way back to Jake Wright, $500,000. Dan Guerin, though, closing, and Bob Mikas right behind him there in fourth. And then you see Michael Gray only $8,000 back there in your top 5. Grahula there, also a $600,000 guy, sixth. You go all the way back to Yazik, who's had some pretty good success this season, though. But some of the trouble he's had cost him quite a bit. You see, that puts him just under $500,000 back from our leader, Andrew Kinsella, right now.
We're not showing it, but Area 51 as a team still in the red, so let's hope they can have some good days. They need to stop repairing cars. Okay, Sean, let's go ahead and talk about some of the series details and race and event details here for today.
Let's do it. And yes, First Medical Equipment are a great sponsor this season, past couple seasons here. Season 5, 16 oval events this season, 8 road. This one is going to be a blast tonight. It's the first time we've been here in the DW12, which you'll see tonight featured here on track. It is a customized fixed setup that they've worked on really hard for this track. A lot of time gone into this. Some of these drivers out there have put in literally close to a couple thousand laps, Dan Guerin being one of them. 42 drivers on this roster. Soup, I'm happy to say it looks like we've got 38 of them registered for this race right now. This season, $3,450 in cash and prizes. The weather this evening, well, on track for this broadcast out here today. We've got 78 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 104 degrees on track. A partly cloudy afternoon sky. Humidity, a sticky 55%. And a little bit of wind out of the north, about 2 miles an hour. Now let's talk about the details of tonight's event. Let's get this in here real quick. We got 2 lone laps of qualifying, 41 laps tonight, 100 miles, 2 fuel stops to get it done. Max fuel stood about 16 laps. Incident cap going to be 12, minus 3 points in your overall points this season. 17X will get you DQ'd and you lose 5 points. No fast repairs, push to passes, a little boost in horsepower. You get 10 of them. Local yellows only, and the points, of course, are the standard league points this evening. This is not a Triple Crown event, but who knows, maybe in the future. Soup, great night for racing.
And qualifying is done, so right now it's just about time to go racing. And when it is time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations, designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com. Okay, and let's go ahead and run down the HPP Simulation starting grid. Sean on the front row. Well, I guess it's no surprise there. Jake Wright. And how about Michael Goodman, though, up there outside of row 1?
Yeah, great run by him. Ryan Otis inside of row 2. Dan Guerin flanking him there in 4th.
Travis Yangerliner and James Grahula make up row 3.
Brian Yazzie, Dustin Wardlow on row 4.
Row 5 is going to be made up of, if I can get this screen out of the way, George Adams and the Racing Kangaroo.
All right. And we get row 6, Jason Robarge, Brandon Limpkeman.
The next row is going to be made of Pierre Degla and Andrew Kinsella.
All right, row 8, Christopher Ron Hacker.
After that, it's going to be Bob Mikas and Scott Bolster.
Okay, and then we've got James Paulson, Joe Branch rounding out row 10.
Then making up row 11 is going to be George Anzaldo and Mitchell Moeller.
Okay, Patrick Taylor, Jason Galvin, row 12.
Tony Showen and Frank Beezer in row 13.
Big Joe Hassert, the Big Joe Show, and Robert Bluen from Canada, row 14.
And then down there in row 15, it is Ed Tubweiler and Michael Peters.
All right, Soup. And then we've got, who do we have there next? We've got Jesse Vincent. Now he's in race control. Vincent Blumenthal, Jared Turnbull.
No, Chris Lanini, Matthew Mercer back there and mixing up 17 and 18. Peter Edwins, Rory Collins, and Jack Bogan round out your 38 cars. 37, I think, will actually be racing. Sean, they're starting to roll, so why don't we look at the onboard cameras?
Let's look at Dandy Dan Guerin here and his onboard camera, Soup. The Lock Precision onboard camera. Yes, sir, Lock. That is definitely the way to fly. Going to be riding with Dan all night. Now we're going to head to Robert Bluen, the race sponsor here in the iRacer.ca onboard camera. Check out his site. That's his blog there. Patrick Taylor and the Dragonfly Racing onboard camera. We'll be riding in with Patrick tonight. He's starting in 9th. Will definitely be one to watch this evening, Soup.
And as they work their way around the pace lap, let's go ahead and squeeze in our trivia question. And I must say, this is our best one of the season. 2017 marks the 50th anniversary of one of Canada's greatest races, albeit it was a snowmobile event. And when an American driver converted his beloved race car into a snowmobile and bested all comers, including one of Canada's most famous lawmen. So, your round 9 trivia question is, in 1967, who was the American driver who won a Canadian snowmobile race, and what was the name of his converted race car? There you have it. Sean's going to be monitoring the YouTube chat, and we will announce the first viewer who gets that answer. My favorite trivia question of the season. I had clues. The clue, if you want one, is the famous Canadian law enforcement man. But that's any other clue makes it Google accessible, and we hate that. So we got to keep these things that you have to work at. All right, let's get down to business here, Sean. We have a few drivers that have put in. Dan Guerin has put in a ton of qualifying time. Jake Wright on the pole. Ryan Otis, though, is notoriously good on road courses. Let's see if he has anything for him. Michael Goodman, we've been looking for him to be good. Look at him sitting outside of row 1. Maybe Wright has some competition today.
I think he does, but man, if Jake can get out and run, if he can get away from the field quickly, Ooh, it's going to be tough to catch him. The passing opportunities few and far between here, Sue. And the green flag's out. There we go.
Pace car has pulled in. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And two-time champion Jake Wright leads the field down into the first corner. Ryan Otis was able to get the best of Michael Goodman, dropping into second. Behind Goodman is Guerin and Krahula making up fourth and fifth.
Yeah, look for Otis to get to work here quickly. He's going to have to do it. He's got to catch Jake soon. He can't let Jake get too far away here.
Yazik and Jägerleiner behind them. The little battle going on for eighth position. You can see on your screens. They're just at the tail back there. That's Wardlow, the Candyman, and the Racing Kangaroo. They are side by side. You see him right there. That's Wardlow in the Racing Kangaroo in the yellow car. Wardlow in the white car, nudging out ahead now.
Yeah, Wardlow, the White Knuckles racing machine there, battling hard with Michael Gray, getting the edge on him here right now. Gotta be careful here in the S's.
And Yazik was able to get around Krahula. Yazik moves up into fifth position. As they come across, leading the first lap, no surprise, is Jake Wright. He's out in front by less than a second over Otis, Goodman, Guerin, and Yazik now into fifth.
Boy, look how they spread out on that first lap, Soup. Wow. Jake getting the quick work here, though. I told you they had to be careful to guard against that. He is really, really opening it up.
Very clean so far. The top 10 nicely in order. So let's look at 11th position. It's Jason Robarge back there in his familiar rainbow machine out in front of points leader Andrew Kinsella. Behind them in the next three spots, Brandon Limpkeman, who we're going to be keeping an eye on. He is our featured driver today, right now running in 13th position. Pierre Degla and Chris Stouffer round out 10th through 15th.
Yeah, Soup, and like I said, pretty good opening lap here. Not a lot of trouble. Good battle between Kinsella, though, and Jason Robarge. Kinsella gets right by him. Kinsella trying to make quick work of the field, get himself up here to the front. He just knocked down another position. He's now got George Adams in front of him, looking for a spot to get around as they head across the start-finish line.
I think he's got to run. He just got around, my goodness, just got around Robarge, and now he had to back up. Now look at the momentum as he drops way back. That's going to give Robarge a chance to get back in there.
Yeah, Kinsella clips a little bit too much of the grass there and slows him down even more. George Adams, the real winner there, is you saw how much he had to give up.
Right now, that's our best battle. Yes. Boy, Robarge, all of a sudden, Kinsella was driving away from him. Kinsella had thoughts of maybe getting up to 10th, and then that went away from him, and now he's back in the clutches of Robarge again. So far, Sean, all the drivers are still out on the great part of the racing area.
Yeah, Soup. Really, like I said a moment ago, it's been really nice to see that everybody got off to a good break there. I really thought there was going to be a lot of calamity on that opening lap. I thought it would be a challenge. But right now, everybody maintaining a decent pace and, like you said, keeping it on the gray.
Well, let's take the second. We'll go back a little bit farther. How about 16th position? Scott Bolster. He's beginning to pull away a little bit from Ron Hacker, running in 17th. Now, look at this. Here's Bob Micah, sits third in the points right now, running back in 18th. Big off, and you can see it right there on screen. It was Degla. Degla was running up in 13th. That would look like into one, right, Sean?
Yeah, no, boy, and he hits the barrier hard. Pierre does some pretty significant damage to the right side of that DW12. Oh, man, that's a killer.
Oh, that was a left-hander. That must have been turn 2 I got, yeah. Smacked it hard into the wall.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the curb played a little bit in that. Might have gotten two wheels on it there, and when he tried to correct it, it overcorrected and sent him right off into the grass and into that tire barrier. There on the screen, we saw Pete Edwins making his way into the pit. Not sure what happened with him.
And I'm also seeing seeing Joe Branch in the pits as well, or is that just an error on my timing and scoring here? Joe Branch on track, okay. All right, let's go to 7th position as we get back up here. Oh my, this is nice. This is Wardlow, the Candyman, just got around Jägerleiner. moves up into 7th. We're going to look on this one.
Yeah,
This one took some guts.
Yeah, a little bit of daring there, daring do, if you will. Boy, right down there on the inside. Wardlow getting it done down in the moss.
We come back live, and now the Candyman up to 7th position.
Got James Krahula up in front of him. Be careful he tries to put a move on Krahula like that now.
We can let's go ahead and report. Kinsella was able, we talked about him fighting with George Adams. Well, he was able to get around Adams while we were watching those replays. So now, that was the battle for 11th. It's going to show him in 10th, and that's because Degla is out now. So Kinsella now breaks into the top 10. Good battle right up ahead, though. Just a couple spots up. This is Jägerlander again. Sean, is that orange? I'm going to say, oh no. If you look at Kinsella's, or Jägerlander's car, is that a nice orange number 44 out there?
Yes, sir.
All right, the commentator gives me a thumbs up on my rods and cones didn't fail me. Coming up is Michael Gray on him.
Soup, let's take a look at Brandon Lipkeman real quick. The first medical equipment driver. Look at, he's our focus driver of the week here. He's got 38 career starts, buddy. And Brandon been around for a while, and of course, largely responsible for that sponsorship there with First Medical Equipment. You can never thank him enough for that. But, man, look at those stats. Career best finished 4th. That was back in Season 5 here. Homestead. Career start 3rd. Season 4, Iowa. And this season here at Homestead. Top 10 finishes, 10 of them. Certainly going to keep an eye on Brandon tonight. Right now, he's running 13th. He started 12th, but he's hanging in there. He's got a nice little battle with Robars going on just up there in front of him. Look to see both of them maybe make their way into the top 10. We'll be talking about pit stops here pretty soon. James Krahula, up to him. Nice battle on screen. Wardlow passes. Made Wardlow still soup. I talked about that a couple minutes ago. Wardlow pulling off another pass there.
Yeah, well, we talked about it, documented him that he was able to get around the orange car of Jägerlander a little while ago. Now he got around James Krahula. Oh, there's a car that's off in the grass.
Yep.
That is Michael Peters. He's running in 34th position. His job right now is just not to cause problems getting back out there, and he does a good job. Gets it back out, gets it going straight.
Yeah.
Going to be able. This is Scott Bolster going to get around him. There we go.
Yeah, Peters felt a little bit of pressure there from the cars of Wardlow and some really fast customers coming through, and he ran it off the course there and had a little bit of trouble getting it back up on track smooth. But now everything seems to have settled back down. He didn't. Oh no, the car is up on 2 wheels. Oh geez, big trouble down in Moss for Michael Peters. He's still got a bunch of traffic around him now.
He took it over the curbing right in front of Galvin and Anzaldo.
Oof. Scary moment.
Joey Chitwood action there, if you're old enough to remember that.
Yes, sir.
Now we're going to ride on board with 4th position. This is Dandy Dan Guerin. We look back at the car that's trying to run him down, and that is Brian Yosik. Guerin on board with a lock precision onboard camera.
Soup. Jack Bogan is sitting at the end of pit lane right now. The car is just sitting there. I guess he was waiting for all that traffic to come through, but rather odd. Just letting everybody go by.
I've been there, Jack. There he comes. Coming on, the water's fine, buddy. Okay, now we're hearing that Galvin has had an issue. All right, Galvin has had a problem. Let's see if we can find it.
Yeah, it was in Moss, Soup. Galvin having trouble getting through there. Not a big surprise. You see the car get out of shape. Probably just a bad downshift right there, a little bit too much brake. Able to correct it and minimize the damage, but the position's lost. Very costly for Mr. Galvin. That puts him down to 26th. He's going to go ahead and bring it in.
You might be wondering why we haven't been covering the battle up front. Well, Jake Wright beginning to open it up by not by that much. 2 seconds over Ryan Otis, doing his best to hang on. Michael Goodman lost second position early, been able to hold on in third. The real action has been a little farther back, even behind Guerin. I would say it really starts to heat up back here. Oh, back where Wardlow is. Actually, Wardlow's gone. Let's go back and look at Krahula now. Here comes a nice run from Jägerländer trying to see if he can get him. This is a battle for 7th. Now, right behind them, we'll stay on this battle. You can see back on the onboard camera, looking over the screen. You go 2 cars back. You got Michael Gray back there,
Yeah.
and then the guy I think who's really coming is Kinsella.
Michael Gray's in a hurry back there. He really is. He's going to get to this battle here real quick. Just passing Patrick Taylor coming out of the pit. Bunch of cars coming through as Taylor makes it out. You know, the pit exit here, very tricky. Jack Bogan probably pretty wise to do what he did, because getting back on the track here when traffic is coming through, that exit is very short, Sue.
Let's take a second, drop back to, I think, 26 was Chris Lanani I'm looking for right now. Racing somewhere back here. He's our hard charger. Where are you, Chris? Running in 26 right now, just ahead of Vincent Blumenthal. He's up, started 34, so he's up 8 positions. So nice run for him. If we go up a little bit, move up to 21st position, maybe even 20th. This is a nice battle, Sean. Take a peek at this one. Big Joe Hazard in a train here. Moeller, Schowen, Beiser, Paulson, Tutwiler all back here.
And Moeller just making the call that he's going to bring his car in for a pit. The window is definitely open, Soup. I can tell you that we've got to have 2 pit stops to get this done. It is full fuel, 13.87 gallons, but the window about 9 to 16 laps. And right now, it looks like that's the ticket for some of these guys.
Yep.
Here with about 9 to 10 laps in the books, bringing their way in.
Moeller and Beiser both bite on that one. They were running 21st and 24th at the time. They might have been held up in that train, so they come in early.
And Soup, this is really a sprint race. I mean, we're talking about just over a minute around this 2.5 mile facility, blazing fast. We're talking about in the pre-race. This is like the super speedway of road courses, to be really honest. But the one part they really get all slowed down in this Moss corner. Slows everybody down, and it gets the best of every driver at some point. I don't care how good you are. Let's pick this up on the replay.
Now this is Garrett who got around. Who did he get around? I guess he got around Goodman. Yeah. Goodman makes a mistake. Look at that, and Garrett just gobbles him up, right, Sean?
Yeah, he does. Garrett doing a really good job of just taking advantage of that. Poor Mike. A little bit of a mistake there for him, and it cost him that position. And, you know, right now, Soup, as these guys start to spread out on track, it's really going to be all about strategy and position. Man, the battle, though, for James Krahula's spot is tense. He's got Travis Jägerländer all over him right now.
Jägerländer back there in that orange machine.
Yeah, boy, they're really, really fighting. That's a good 4-car battle there between Jägerländer, Michael Gray, and Andrew Kinsella.
Now remember, Gray was up ahead of these guys. He was past. Oh, now this is how we're going to sort this out. The 2 guys come in. So Krahula comes in, and so does Jägerländer. I think this is going to be good news for Gray and Kinsella, because I think they actually were faster. Let's go up. The leaders have a traffic jam to go through.
Well, you know, you got all these guys pitting now, and you know, pit stops starting to happen. And let's face it, I talk about the speed that they're getting through this track, man. It doesn't take long to catch everybody. They're spread out everywhere right now.
And you got drivers on mixed agendas here. They're going through some cars that have pitted, and then they're going through some that have not. One of our featured driver, the guy we were going to our spotlight, was Brandon Linkeman. He has come in and made his stop. It looks like Jazik and Krahula are going to be the leaders of all the cars who've pitted. Jazik running in 15th right now. Leader goes around one more time.
Dustin Wardlow just made his call. He's going in, but the leaders stay out. Jake Wright, Ryan Otis still on track. Dan Guerin following behind. Jake working through the traffic, though, pretty well. Has a car get off right there in front of him. Tony Shallen getting out of the way, letting these guys through. Ryan Otis getting around Shallen, still trying to get around Jason Galvin, who's fallen back to 31st place after a pit stop.
Wright's lead just under 2 seconds now, so he's not being able to run away, but Otis still has to negotiate around the KGET machine of Jason Galvin. Otis out there racing in that HPP machine. Looks like kind of like the old marble paint schemes with HPP on the side. One of our sponsors, and he makes his way around Jason right now as Galvin drops back.
Finally, he's able to pull that off and get around. Yeah, I really think with Jake and Ryan Soup, it's going to come down to their pit stops. Ryan's going to have to try and out pit stop him, basically. That's what's going to have to happen here.
Goodman had decided to come in after he lost that spot to Guerin, so he comes in, pitting from 4th position. He was kind of in that battle. What we may want to pick up is Dustin Wardlow. Remember, Wardlow was in the hunt. Wardlow now making his way through 8, coming up through the S's. Now heading on to the main straight. Let's see if Goodman gets out first. Goodman is rolling. He's going to be out well ahead of the driver that was chasing him, Wardlow, by about 3.5 seconds.
Your top 10 remain on track, though.
Now we're looking here, 4th position. This is Michael Gray. This is one of the guys we've been watching, and he's going to lose that spot. Kinsella finally gets him before pit stops.
Ryan Otis just made Jake Wright's in. Ryan Otis is in. The leaders are in. Dan Guerin follows.
Man, it sounds like air traffic control out there. Everyone's saying pitting in, pitting out. 2 drivers that do not come in, Kinsella and Gray stay
Michael
out.
Gray, yep.
Out.
The Kangaroo is a hopping. But Kinsella really showing his value here this evening. He pulled off a really good move to get around Mike. Mike's having a little bit of trouble with the car now there. It's falling off on him there a bit. Kinsella able to get away.
Let's go to your leader real quick because he got out of the pits, but unfortunately Robert Bluen just got around him. So that means that Jake Wright is going to... Oh, look at that. Bluen does a great job. He knows what's going on. Gets a great job of getting out of the way. Now that's Stouffer following Wright. I think Stouffer... I have him in 6th, but I think he's probably not really in the racing order right now. Stouffer, Branch, and Bluen. You know what? Look what has happened to Otis. Otis got crushed by traffic.
Yep.
He's got to get around all these guys that Wright was able to get out in front of.
His pit stop a little bit slower than Jake's, too. That's not what he needed. He did not need to lose 10ths of a second in the pit, and it happened to him. And now he finds himself behind all this traffic that has to get through. It's going to be tough, Soup. It's going to be really tough. They still got one more stop to settle.
And we don't really know if you don't need a full... Oh, let's go to Guerin real quick. No, let's look at Patrick Taylor, who just got punted by Dan Guerin. We might have to see this on replay. This was right on the main straight. Guerin is running in 8th position right now.
Coming out of turn 10, yep.
He was trying to get around a lapped car. I'm not quite sure what actually happened here, but man, it was a good shot to the nose. There you see it right there.
Patrick Taylor.
You're going to go on board with Dandy Dan. Dave and Penny, close your eyes. This one might hurt a little bit.
You know, Soup, I don't know if he hit him. I'm not showing any damage on Dan's car. Oh, no, the wing is bent up a little bit now that I'm seeing it.
And the bad news is he has made his pit stop, so he's not going to be able to get that taken care of.
I don't think it's too bad, though.
Now I'm showing Joe Branch is the last car to pit, and he comes in right now in that yellow Pennzoil machine. Now my rods and cones were going to fail me on whether that was yellow or green, but I saw Pennzoil, and I just make the assumption it's yellow.
Tell you what, good battle heating up right now with Yazik and Mike Goodman. Mike Goodman catching Yazik. I don't think Yazik's just going to move out of the way and let him get by. This is heating up to be a really good battle between these two. Yazik showing great pace here tonight at Mosport. I was saying this before in the pre-race. Yazik just seems to be fast. Whatever you put that guy in, a truck, a cup car, Grand National car, he's just good, man. Period. Good.
And this is really interesting because right up ahead, this is Guerin. This is a battle for third. Getting out of the way is Matthew Mercer. And here comes Yazik through as well. And here comes Goodman. As they get through and another driver say, look at those guys. That's Michael Peters leaving the inside line open. Nice job, guys. So Guerin in third. Now Yazik, remember Yazik was behind Goodman when the pit cycle opened up and they came in. Goodman was running in fourth, so he's dropped a position back to fifth. But again, we're not sure what's going on the first pit stop. They don't need to fill it up all the way. They can short fill the first time and take a little bit more on their second stop. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think there'll be a couple different strategies at play, Soup. But right now, the best strategy for Jake Wright is just to keep burning down some great laps. Is still turning 102s, and the rest of the field still running 103s, and he's now opened up a 3.5 second gap on Ryan Otis. But Otis starting to dig a little bit. Otis with the fastest lap of the race, a 102.1. Soup. That is an incredible lap. But Otis is starting to close it down just a little bit. Thousandths of a time, thousandths of a second at a time, but the gains are small.
Well, what he is doing is keeping Jake Wright honest. He's making Jake run a steady pace. He can, and if Wright makes a mistake, Otis is close enough that he can capitalize on it. Let's drop back to 12th position to check in on our spotlighted driver here today, Brandon Lincomman, after the pit stops. Racing in that beautiful, you know what, I'm colorblind, but he puts on every color, so I can see some of them. Man, what is that, Fire and Ice machine? Man, that is a great looking car.
Yeah, Brandon running that Fire and Ice scheme for a while now, and it's a hot look for sure.
It is. Running in 12th. We'll check back in on him throughout the race, see how he's doing.
Yeah, he's holding station right now. I'm happy for Brandon. He's having a good run. That pit stop helped him out a little bit, and car looks good, and he's keeping it in the gray.
Let's go to 19th position. We'll just check in on our hard charger right now, Ed Tutwiler, up 10 spots. Started in 29th. You do the math, he's racing in 19th.
Yeah, Eddie having a good run. Cheering for Canada this evening. Not from Canada, but he's cheering for Canada this evening.
He's got the what is that, the donut guy there in Canada?
Yeah, Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons on the car. He's got OPP on the wing. Was that Other People's Poutine? I think it was, our director said.
Oh, if I hear Chris, let's go to Chris Lanani. Is this... Let's see. Oh, it's a Limpkeman just had a spill.
Oh, no, not Brandon. Limpkeman has trouble out of turn 10. Oh, no. Oh, too much throttle.
What do you say? He's on his toque? Is that what he is?
He's on his toque, Soup. He's on his toque. Coo. He's on his toque.
Oh, well. Turn off the spotlight, boys and girls. I think that's probably going to be it for our spotlighted driver. No fast repairs here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series.
Man, that is a tough break for Brandon. Just a little bit too much throttle. I think he broke the egg, Soup, getting off of turn 10 there.
But we had the camera off of him, so there is no commentator's curse on that. We went to him, and I mean,
he did it all by himself.
There's a statute of limitation on that thing, and I think.
Ooh, Chris Stouffer getting around Frank Beezer right now. Good battle between those two. Wasn't a battle for position necessarily, but Stouffer really making a risky move there in the turn. Beezer doing a good job to not get into him and cause a wreck there. Good battle.
In 29th position. 22 cars still on the lead lap, the last one being Tony Schowen.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue, Soup. Whereas the pace is really good throughout the field, it's really easy for the leaders fighting with clean air to get around and catch the back of the field quickly.
This is a nice battle that our director has found for us. Yazik, Goodman is all over him. Goodman wants that spot back. Remember, Goodman qualified in second position outside of row one. Here's got a nice... Nope, not going to be out. I thought he was going to make a charge in there.
Yeah.
And there we go. Actually, what I was doing, I got it confused because I was looking at Patrick Taylor getting out of the way.
Yeah, and it does. Patrick does a good job getting out of the way. Yazik, though, still holding it down there in fourth, but Goodman really making it tough for him here. All over his mirror. Goodman. Oh, Dan Garrett, big mistake, mistake. Soup down in Moss corner. And they, oh boy, Turnbull almost runs right into him.
Right, and that's just the break that Jared Turnbull did not need as he's trying to get Area 51 back into the black. Boy, he almost ran into Garen. Dan, you gotta wait a bit there. Man, oh man.
Dan's got to be crushed right now. In fact, I know he is. He's got to be crushed all the time, all the effort gone into preparing for this race, and one mistake, that's all it takes. The speed, Soup. The speed at which this race is happening right now. It's so hard to be consistent every turn, every lap. Jason Robarge with trouble, and it looks like he was trying to avoid Mercer.
Yep, it happened right in front
Matthew
of Blue,
Mercer had spun. Yeah, it actually.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right, Sean. I guess Mercer had a spin, and it got Robarge a little bit confused, and right in front of Bluen.
Yeah, he had that spin there in turn 9. And then Bluen trying to avoid him, he goes around.
Comes around, had quite a bit of a... And there's somebody else that's off the track there. Looks like Paulson had an issue as well.
Yeah, maybe a little net code with Jason Galvin. Maybe a little bit of contact. Those two get together. I think our director has picked it up.
We're going to look back just a little bit farther. Sean, tell me what you see here.
Yeah, it happens coming out of Clayton. You're going to see Galvin start to get a run on him here. And they don't actually make contact, but I think it was a little bit of net code, and that, of course, sends Paulson around. Does not end well for him.
James Skrahula coming in. Paulson, I'll say it for you. Galvin, you know there's net code. Give me a break. Just give me a little bit there. Galvin said, I didn't touch it. Not my fault.
Yeah, that's a tough call on that one there. Really, really tough call. Galvin definitely had the run, and it certainly wasn't intentional contact.
No.
I didn't see the contact. It looked like it was there was just a little gap in there. It may, like I said, have been that unfortunate case where you see a little bit of net code, but unfortunately we've got drivers now. The attrition starting to set in, and a couple of cars making themselves behind the wall now, Sue.
So we are in, and we're hearing some pitting. I guess the second window has opened up here. So it's going on pretty well. There have been a lot of spins, but not really much car-to-car contact other than maybe the one we just documented.
Well, Sue, listen, we've got about 15 laps remaining right now, and you know what? You can go max fuel about 16 laps, so some of them looking for the long game here. I don't know if that's the one I want to play, but we'll see how it works out. Jake Wright's still in command of this race, but Otis has been able to pick up a half a second. Now got it down to 3 seconds, Sue.
Let's drop in on 7th position. This is Michael Gray in that yellow car being pestered by points leader Andrew Kinsella. And Sean, another thing that we don't really know about, and that's fuel and what mixture they might be on, but also the push to pass. They get 10 of them. How many have they used up?
Yeah, I don't know. Might be saving a little bit, putting some in the pocket for the closing stages of this race. Michael Gray going to be tough to get around. He is an ace road course racer. Kinsella, though, pushing the issue here, putting some pressure on Mike heading into turn 10. This is where you want to definitely try and get someone to make a mistake. We've seen several there already tonight, but Mike, no sweat, no pressure. He gets himself down through turn 1 successfully. Right now, it's all about setting up for that last pit stop.
We're looking at Andrew Kinsella, but in Field of Dreams, Sean, what did the ghost say to Ray Kinsella?
Go the distance.
Go the distance, and that is what Andrew Kinsella is trying to do. Is he's making a move on the Racing Kangaroo. Andrew Kinsella, the only driver to complete every lap so far this season.
Yeah, what a stat, huh? Is that pretty cool or what?
He is going the distance, baby.
Trying to remember right now how many laps that was. It's something insane. It's like 838 laps going in tonight or something like that.
Right now, he's trying to ease the pain of the racing kangaroo by trying to get around him, take the pressure off of Gray. Let's see what he can do. They work their way.
Yeah, it was 832 laps to be exact for Kinsella coming into tonight. And the kangaroo was right behind him with 831.
Well, that's a good combination. See, those guys should be able they should be able to take it to the checker flag for sure, then one would think. Looks like Big Joe Hassard has made a second pit stop. And he's the leader of all the cars who have done... Am I looking? No, I'm not looking at this right. Sorry. Nope, that's incorrect. I think maybe James Krahula maybe making 2 stops might be our guy now. Now we're hearing that Yosik is in the pits. Oh, and let's go to Jared Turnbull, Area 51. It's going to be more repair bills for you guys.
Yeah, and that was looks like it was between him and Jason Galvin, maybe. Oh no, it was by himself getting out of Moss. Just loses it there. That hairpin is so tricky. It bites everybody. He knocks the front off of that car. That's going to be a costly repair there.
Yep.
Repair bill in the pit for Turnbull.
Next race for Indianapolis, we're going to show you the bottom part of the simulated money chart, because that's more fun, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh, remember the issue that we saw Guerin have on the straightaway, Sean? What's the news on that?
That might have been more damage than we thought. It cost him in the pit. That was a long pit stop for him. 41.4 seconds in the pit lane. That's double what everybody else has been throwing down this evening practically. And so costly for Dan Guerin. What could have been for him tonight ends in another disappointment. Dustin Wardlow bringing his DW12 into the pit. White Knuckle Racing in.
Pitting from 4th position behind Otis and Goodman, and of course Jake Wright out in front.
That slots the Racing Kangaroo up to 4th. Goodman now into that podium spot.
We'll keep an eye there on Wardlow. We'll see if we can pick up who we might be looking for. I guess James Krahula. Where are you, James? James just coming through the final corner now, heading onto the main straight. I don't think he's going to be close. I think Wardlow's going to get... Yeah, Wardlow's well out in front. So on your charts at home, boys and girls, mark Dustin Wardlow as the leader of all the cars who have pitted, currently running in 8th position.
Yeah, I think there's a driver out here we hadn't talked about a whole lot. Scott Bolster right now is sitting here in 6th place. Hasn't had that pit stop yet, but the Skull Bandit this evening up 12 spots into 6th. All he's done all night, just pick up spots. Pick up spots.
He's only 6 seconds behind Kinsella, who we've documented, a lot. So yeah, that's a legitimate spot for Bolster. Nice race, nice shot for him.
Mike Goodman in the pit, getting his service. Stop is done, only 7.3 seconds in the actual box there. Quick pit stop for Michael Goodman.
Wardlow just coming across to the start-finish line right now, but Goodman is long gone.
I think some of these guys are going to be really, really tight on fuel soup.
So now we're waiting for Wright and Otis to come in.
Yeah, Otis going to follow suit. Otis not going to mess around, come right in with him. He's got to try and beat him here in the pit.
Just to give you an idea where Goodman would be, he is not even to turn 8 yet. He's still got to go through 8 of the S's and then through the final corner. So expect these guys to get out well out in front.
Wow, Jake's already out.
Yep.
Wow, that was quick.
Otis rolling.
Yeah, Otis still longer in the pit, 2 seconds longer than Jake Wright.
Now let's go up. Let's look here at 2nd position. This is Jake Wright. and this is Andrew Kinsella. But before I get excited, Kinsella's got one more stop to make. That just goes to show you, Sean, how dominant that Jake is. He's been able to make the second stop.
Yeah, and again, it's this super speedway style road course that's got us here, and the pace has just been incredible. I mean, Soup, I can't believe this race is almost over. I feel like I've been gone for 2 weeks. There's so much more we could have spoken about. Andrew Kinsella is in the pit now, Soup. He's come in. And we're not gonna get it all in tonight. This race is almost over, Soup. We've got 8 laps to go.
Kinsella comes in. The Racing Kangaroo did not, so that's something we can watch. Michael Gray is actually ahead of of Jake Wright right now. So I guess Gray's going to get credited with leading a lap.
Yes, sir. Indeed, he will.
I know it looks like daytime on your screen. To be honest, in the Americas, it is Wednesday night, but not for the Racing Kangaroo. It's sometime Thursday for him.
It's about 15 hours ahead of me.
Midday Thursday. About lunchtime for him.
He's got a sandwich waiting.
So I expect our leader to come in. That'll turn it over to Wright. But what we'll want to do when he does come in, and sure enough, thank you for that one, Michael. Let's go ahead and pick up the man he was battling with, and that was Kinsella. Kinsella has a shot. Kinsella, he seems like a long way back. He's just getting to 8 right now. Going into 8, we see him there. Gray is coming out of his stall. Kinsella, I think Gray should get out well ahead here. Well, not well ahead. You can see him at least, but by about a second and a half.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dustin Wardlow. What a great pit stop for him last time in, Soup. It's got him sitting solid in 4th right now, and I got to tell you, if he does what he does and what Wardlow does best is consistency.
Dan Guerin. We got to go to Dan Guerin one more time. He got into the back of Mitchell Moeller. Just happened.
Oh boy, yeah. Dan with a run here in the turn, and it looks like Moeller couldn't make up his mind which way he wanted to go, or Dan didn't guess which way he wanted to go, and boy, that ends up ending Dan's race. He's not coming back from that.
All that work, and it went from bad to worse. It just kept getting worse for him. Okay, Sean, how about with 6 laps to go, we run down all the drivers that managed to be on the lead lap right now.
We
5 at a time. Jake Wright out in front by about 4.4 seconds over Ryan Otis. Those guys are the class of the field. Otis has about 7 seconds on Michael Goodman, running in 3rd. Goodman's got quite a bit of distance back to the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, in 4th. And then it's another 6 seconds back to the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray. But from there, Sean, Gray's not all that safe.
No, because Andrew Kinsella is on the way, and he's on his way very quickly. James Cruella back there lurking. He's not that far back, about 3 seconds out from Kinsella. George Adams in 8th. He about 5.5 seconds back of Kinsella. Scott Bolster with a lot of work to do. Got that pit stop complete, sitting there in 9th. Got a pretty good distance, about 5 seconds between him and Bob Mikus, who rounds out the top 10 right now.
Yeah, but then it gets really exciting back here for 11th. How about a battle? This is Joe Branch being ran down by Brian Yasek. Now, I'm not sure if Branch has made his pit stop. Let me double check. Yeah, everybody's done their 2. So that's a stop. So give that position. We got it just in time. Yasek moves up to 11th. Branch back to 12th. Then you go back a couple cars, get back to Ron Hacker. 14th position, Chris Stouffer. And I'll take all the cars on the lead lap here. Jason Robarge, and that is actually 15. That's where we end up. Jason Robarge in the rainbow car, the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, Soup, and when you mentioned Yazek back at 11th, we're not really sure yet what happened to him. If Jesse's listening, maybe he can clue us in as to what happened with Yazik. He had to make that third pit stop unexplained. That's what's got him back in 11th. Kinsella with a close moment here. Michael Gray.
And Kinsella on the inside, Gray on the outside in the yellow car. Now Gray will have the momentum down the straight. He should be able to close it. Let's stay on this one, though. As well, I'm hearing that. I hear somebody else having trouble, and I guess it's okay. Joe Branch, I see, is in the pits for some reason. Here we go. Let's go back to what we're looking at, though. And now Gray able to distance himself up.
Yeah.
This has been a battle, Sean, between these two guys the whole time. Yeah, there have been other guys in with them, but these guys have been together for the entire race.
Yeah, the Kangaroo's not playing around, baby. He wants to get as close to the podium as he can. It's up there maybe a little bit too far up there, but he definitely doesn't want to give up 5th to Kinsella. He's got everything to gain from that. Having a great run this season, finds himself the top 5 in points.
Of course, road course racing. It seems like road course racing is all about the podium. Oval racing, it's a little different. It's all about top 5. I don't know why that is that way, but that's kind of how it works.
Trying to get those good points for Mazda suit.
And just to change the subject, we look at this battle. I just heard today, I think I heard the news that NASCAR has decided to put a race on the Roval at Charlotte for next season. That's going to be fun.
Oh, Michael Gray trying to get around. And going back to that, Michael Gray is actually trying to get around Big Joe Hassert. Big Joe making it very uncomfortable for Michael Gray right now. That's allowed Kinsella to get in here. 3 wide. Oh, God. And I was a little bit behind that. Sorry, guys.
It'd be cool if you could be ahead. That would be really great. You could tell me what to expect. But that has been going on. Kinsella now with a run. Let's stay on it live. Kinsella has a good run as they come down into 8. He's got to back off a little bit. Sean, you were out there in the car. Is there push that these guys have to worry about? Does Kinsella have to worry about getting a good bite off of here?
Not so much. It's really, it's more up to you. You've got to be really careful with the throttle, especially out of that last turn there. That right-hander, there's, how dare I say, a lack of grip through there, and you get back to the throttle a little bit too quick. You don't, you break the egg, as I say. You're really in trouble. We've seen several cars have trouble managing that this evening.
With 2 to go, this is probably the best race on the track. However, it is between 2 drivers that really understand what the big picture is all about. We talked about these guys being able to bring it all the way home. I just don't think you're going to see anything silly happening from Gray and Kinsella, as Jake Wright is going to get the white flag. Sean, I want more racing. Seems like we just got started.
I know. They could have made this race 80 laps, and I think we'd have been okay. Yeah, what a race this evening. Jake, the kid's really putting it on these guys tonight.
15 cars on the lead lap. The last one being Jason Robarge, who's the leader, is beginning to run down right now. There is a nice battle for 14th that we can cover all the way around after the leader crosses, because these guys will have an extra lap to do. It is between Chris Stouffer and Jason Robarge, assuming that they can stay in front of Jake Wright. And that may be a big assumption. As our leader comes through 8, through the S's, just has the right-hander to go. Throttle down, give round number 9 in the Lionheart IndyCar Series to your points leader, or to your 2-time champion, Jake Wright.
Great run for Jake tonight. Great run for Ryan Otis. He's really digging there at the end. But again, it all came to the open of this race. So I said you can't let Jake get too far ahead, and unfortunately for Ryan, there was never any pressure on Jake tonight.
It looks like that battle that we saw between Gray and Kinsella is going to finish up in that order. Gray gets 5th position. Kinsella gets 6th. Let's go ahead back and look at Robarge, because that could be interesting. Robarge now look at this. Robarge has dropped well behind now. Doesn't look like there's going to be a battle as these guys are coming around. No other battles on the track. So as soon as those guys cross, I think we'll throw it to break. In fact, I'll start doing it right now. And while the racing is done here, we are not done on the Global Sim channel, the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll be back in a little while to bring you what we're calling the Launch into the Lock Precision post-race show, where we'll go ahead and run down the final standings, talk to the drivers, and then close up shop. Oh, and give you the answer to the trivia question. Back in a few.
Yeah, definitely.
Welcome back to the Great White North, to Mosport, as we launch into the Lock Precision Rocket Team post-race show. Soup and Crackers here to review the IndyCar Grand Prix of Canada presented by iRacer.ca that you just saw here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Now, let's go ahead and run down the finishing order here, or do I have to do a plug? I guess I do a plug next. Okay, gotta follow my script here. And you know, I was going to tell you that the Lionheart IndyCar Series has never raced here at Mosport before, but For over 30 years, the name of Lock Precision has been synonymous with mid to high powered rocketry. Lock Precision manufactures a full line of high quality precision fit components to meet your building, repairing, and customizing need. For more information, please visit lockprecision.com. For more precision, read the script. That's what I say. Now it's time to go through the order here. Basically, this was wire to wire for Jake Wright as he wins by 3.5 seconds over Ryan Otis. Those two were the class of the field. Otis 14 seconds, about 11 seconds ahead of Michael Goodman, who was able to best Dustin Wardlow. And then in the battle that we watched for most of the race, two drivers notorious for bringing it to the checker flag, and they did it once again. The racing kangaroo, Michael Gray, who has completed all but one lap this season, and Andrew Kinsella in 6th, who has completed all of the laps this season. James Grahula comes home in 7th. George Adams, a very quiet 8th position, along with Scott Bolster. And rounding out your top 10, a man sitting up in the points, Bob Mikas. Sean?
Brian Yazik could have had a podium finish tonight. He takes off his pit limiter just fractions of a second from the line, gets a speeding on pit road, has to bring it back in. Soup finishes 11th. Joe Branch going to finish 11th. Ron Hacker 13th. Christopher 14th. Jason Robarge 15th. Jason Galvin does a great job to recover, but he winds up the first car a lap down. Finishes 16th. He started way back in the field. So good night there, actually, for Galvin to pick up 8 spots, I think it was. George Anzaldo, 17th place for him tonight. Eddie Tutwiler, 18th. Big Joe Show finishes 19th. And Tony Shallon rounding out your top 20.
Brian Yazik, there's an old Spanish racing quotation that I learned when I spent some time down in Mexico. ¿A dónde vas con tanta prisa? Where are you going with such haste? And that's what happens when you take off your pit limiter too early. 21st position, hitting blackjack, Mitchell Moyer. 22nd in the double duck spot is Frank Beezer, right ahead of Robert Bluen and Matthew Mercer. Rory Collins in the quarter century mark, just ahead of Patrick Taylor. Oh my goodness, talk about a guy who had his issues. He was running up front. He's going to finish in 27th. Dave and Penny's baby boy, Dandy Dan Guerin. More repair bills for the Turnbull family as Jared is going to finish in 28th position. James Paulson in 29th. 30th goes to our spotlighted driver. Brandon Linkeman was running up in about 12th position till he found the wall. Chris Lanani, Michael Peters, Vincent Blumenthal, Travis Jagerliner. Oh, sorry, there were more than I thought here. Sean, I took a little more. I'll finish them out so I got going. My goodness, they're going to find me. Jack Bogan, Pierre Degla, Peter Edwins, and, well, of course, Jesse Vincent is in race control. 37
That's
drivers,
right.
Took the grid, 37 finished. All right, since I did so many of the names on the grid, Sean, why don't you get the honor of talking to our race winner?
You know what? I haven't talked to Jake Wright in a while. I want to talk to him now. Jake, congratulations on another road course victory. What is the secret for you, brother?
You know, just a lot of practice. I spent a lot of time today trying to just get some extra practice laps in, and I don't know. This was a fun track, and I had a lot of fun racing it.
You know, I said right before we started the race that really what had to happen is they had to keep you close to have any chance to race with you. Ryan Otis certainly tried, but once you got out to about a 2-second lead, it seemed like the clean air was really easy for you to deal with. You really seemed dialed in on this track. Is it really like a super speedway out there?
It is. There's a lot of speed in these cars, and even though it was, I guess on the broadcast it looked like a decent sized gap. When you're out there racing, a 2-3 second lead feels like nothing. So I was stressed out the entire race trying to keep that gap to what I would call a manageable position.
Well, right now, Jake, you're chasing. You find yourself being the chaser in the points for this season, but you pull off this win here. Kinsella finishes behind you. You know what? You're doing kind of what you need to do to get yourself back to defend your championship.
Yeah. I think next week, though, is going to be, or 2 weeks from now, I guess, is when it's going to be kind of decided for me, I think, whether the Indy 500 goes our way or not with the double points and all.
Well, that's going to be one of our big Triple Crown events. We're looking forward to it. I know you're going to put a lot of practice. You guys will be working with the set's already been approved for that, right?
I'm not entirely sure. It might have been.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure everybody's going to get right to work on that. Jake, again, congratulations to you and the team. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, my sponsor, SurveySystem.com, and my teammates, and just everybody here at Lionheart for putting on an awesome race.
Jake, congratulations, buddy. We will see you at Indy.
Thanks. See you there.
All right. That was Jake Wright. Soup, you get to talk to Ryan Otis, who puts on another fine performance here on another road course. Take it away.
Ryan, congratulations on the second place. I thought you were the second best driver out there today.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I thought probably I was too. I was trying to hold on to Jake, and boy, it was tough when you'd get in traffic, and we'd close the gap a little bit when he'd catch somebody, and then I'd have to go and pass the same person, so he'd open it back up. So we just kind of held station for a long time.
What we mentioned in the broadcast, and then Jake followed up with it. Even though you couldn't catch him, you were close enough to keep him honest, is what we said, that any mistake from him and you would have had the lead.
Oh yeah, I was trying to put the pressure on, I guess, as much as I can, being 3 or 4 seconds behind him. I think he did a better job getting in and out of the pits than I did. At the first pit stop, I was I don't know, only a second and a half behind him, and then for some reason my stop was just slow, and I came out 3 seconds back, and then never really made up the gap from there.
All right, now let's talk big picture. I have 2 questions here, and the second one plays off with the first one. So please tell me that you got your Sunday laid out there where you're going to be able to do the Indy 500.
Oh, I actually wish I was. I'm going to be out of town, so that's not ideal.
That is a sad one, because that's a double points one. I was saying if you can just finish close enough to Jake and then just keep outgunning him on the ovals, you have a chance. But missing Indy will be tough. Well, man, we will miss you. Where are you going to be? You're going to hopefully you're doing something rewarding.
Yeah, I'll be doing some autocross stuff out of town, driving my Camaro.
Oh, well, there you go. Good luck. Hey, take a picture. Share those. We'll get it on the broadcast. Good luck.
All right, will do. Thanks, guys.
Ryan Otis, your second place finisher today. Sean, who you got?
Hailing from the great state of New York, another podium finish. Mike Goodman, congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Sean. Thank you.
Great run on this road course. Mike, going into tonight, how much experience did you have here at Mosport in a DW12?
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
No, go ahead, buddy.
Oh, well, once the setup was posted about maybe 10 days ago, I was just practicing every single day. I was just doing laps, and laps. I did a lot of laps.
Are you a fan? Are you a believer now of this track? Ready to put it back on the schedule for next season?
Oh, it's a great track. It's fun. I enjoyed it.
How was working through the traffic there for you, trying to hang on and keep that car in a podium position?
It was definitely hectic for sure. There's very few places where you could pass. So, I like to congratulate, say thank you to everyone that, made it as easy as possible to get by.
Well, Mike, we head to Indianapolis here in just under a couple of weeks, and big night. It's going to be a Triple Crown race. How do you feel about what are your thoughts about going to Indy? What do you think about your chances, and how big an event that's going to be for you?
Well, I have no chance of winning because I won't even be on the island.
Oh,
yeah, I know it's going to be a huge hit, but family comes first, so I'll be hanging out with them.
Well, we are sorry to hear that. I'm sorry I built that up so much there, Mike. I didn't want to bring you down, man. You had a great night. Certainly going to love those points here at Mosport. Again, congratulations to you, buddy.
Thank you very much, Sean. Thanks for having me.
All right, and that was the driver, the number 99 DW12, Michael Goodman. Soup, great run for him this evening. Gets a podium finish and gets to take home those big points for it.
All right, so here's what's up. Now we're going to do our thank yous, but don't go away. Stay with us, because at the very end, we're going to give you the answer to what I think is the best trivia question of the season. And we're hearing that we can... What I'm hearing from the director as he's whispering? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. I daydreamed here. If we could... Of course we want to talk with Michael Gray. I have my question lined up and everything. Here we go. Not only are we going to, don't go away because we want to talk to Michael Gray. Michael, I had this fixed, my question all ready for you. There were a lot of people involved in your battling today, but one guy that seemed to be there the whole time was Andrew Kinsella. Man, he was all over you.
Yeah, he just had a complete rocket ship right underneath his butt, but a few good pit stops managed to jump him at the end there. But I think the highlight of the night was me and him going too wide through the S's and down into turn one twice. So I hope that made it absolutely fantastic on the broadcast.
Yes, we Sean saw that one. That was a very intense. You know, you got off to a kind of a slow start. You dropped back a few spots there. I know you started 10th and you made your way up a bit. Man, the battling even early on was really tight.
Yeah, it was, and especially a few corners where you're sitting behind someone, you just get the draft and you just push to the outside. And considering on how narrow this is, the track was, just like Brands Hatch last season, it just you just needed to really let off the gas. But for me, this track, so much fun, but the problem corner was that hairpin.
Okay, now I'm going to ask this question. So far, our last two have been disappointing answers from our last two drivers. So let's see, and this is going to be really weird from you. The Indy 500, it's Sunday, June 11th out here where we are. It's going to be like Monday, middle of the night or something. Are you planning on making that one?
I plan on making it.
Okay, that's good news.
Are you playing hooky, Mike, from work?
I am. I'm going to tell him that I've got something on, so I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I have a chance of winning it 3 times for the official Indy 500. I had a rocket ship and I blew it, but this one, I want to win it. I want to win.
All right. Well, you are now our fan favorite, I'm sure of it, because anybody who's that dedicated. Good luck to you. We will look forward to seeing you on June 11th. For you, it's going to be June 12th, so don't get confused.
Oh, no, I'm not going to get confused. But thank you, guys.
All right. The man down under. There it is, the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray. Now, don't go away because that trivia answer is coming up. But we do want to thank the people who make this broadcast possible. And the guys of the Unsung Heroes, they are the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality. And of course, I'm talking about the guys at First Medical Equipment. For more information, please visit firstmedequipment.com. Also, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system in the world of sim racing, designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulating racing. For more information, I bet you know where to go. Please visit hppsimulations.com. Sean?
Soup.
I want meat.
You know what? And I do too. Far too many times while I was away, I asked myself, could you use a little meat in your life? And Von Hansen's Meats, we got to thank them for sponsoring that Countdown to Green show, the new old-fashioned meat market and butcher shop. Lock Precision Rocketry. Can't say enough about them for sponsoring the post-race shows. Fly hard, fly safe, fly lock. Thanks to everyone at the Lionheart IndyCar Series for organizing the series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Special thanks to Robert Blue and Tonight for sponsoring today's event. Check out his blog there at iRacer.ca.
He'll probably talk about how his 23rd place finish went. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. The original music you heard is from, you know who it is. It's Eric Eckelm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact them.
All right, Sue. The Lionheart IndyCar Series will return. Folks, listen, write this down now, okay? You need to make a note of this. We're throwing you a little bit of a curveball here.
Because it's
Sunday.
Not on Wednesday.
No, it's
Okay.
Sunday, June the 11th. Got a little bit of a break here, but mark your calendars for Sunday, June the 11th, for the second jewel of the Lionheart Triple Crown, a full 500 miles from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. By the way, Joey Chitwood, president of that speedway there for many, many years, Soup. GSRC will be there, and we hope you join us. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook. Yeah, just type in Global Sim Racing Channel. It'll pop right up, I promise.
And now to the trivia answer. Yeah, I could have made this easier if I gave you a few more clues, but I don't like people Googling it. So here is your question. In 1967, who was the American driver who won a Canadian snowmobile race, and what was the name of his converted race car? And here it comes right now, Sean. What is the answer?
Soup, I can't believe more people didn't know this. Tom Slick and the Thunderbolt Grease Slapper.
The Thunderbolt Grease Slapper. Now, if you don't know Tom Slick, I'm going to give you something to Google. I'm going to give you here. Go ahead and Google Tom Slick, and also then Google in these words here. I think it's like Tom Slick Snow What, and you'll be able to see 6.5 minutes, a little slice of heaven, the Tom Slick as he beats Dudley Do-Right. By the way, was the Canadian law enforcement officer that he beats in that one, as Dudley Do-Right makes a cameo. You'll also get to see the evil villain Baron Automatic. Oh man, you can't. 6 minutes and 28 seconds. Tom Slick Snow What. You don't want to miss it. Finally, now, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, that was Sean Ambrose, and our director Amjad Yaman, our camera artist Dougie Beard, and Tom Slick fans everywhere, we'd like to thank you all for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.